everyone, welcome to the third installment of the Sunny Squad FAQ video. So I am really excited to talk to you guys about this topic. Thank you to everyone who voted over in the Sunny Squad Facebook group. If you don't know what Facebook group I'm talking about, I am going to link to it in the description for later when this video comes out on YouTube to everyone. Okay, so you guys voted on what topic you wanted this month's Sunny Squad video to be about, and you guys picked teaching kids about personal finance. So I have a couple of notes that I want to share with you guys, a couple of quick tips. So you're gonna see me looking over here at my notes, but just bear with me. So first of all, you guys know that my kids aren't super old. My oldest is 9, my middle is 6, and then my youngest is almost 5. And so we have grown with these conversations as our kids have gotten older, and we do plan, you know, to make them get a job when they're teenagers and teach them about investing and like all these things as it is age appropriate. So just know that like I'm not talking about teenagers because I don't really have a lot of experience with teenagers, but some of these tips could probably apply to them as well. So first of all, for us, what has been really helpful is just keeping those conversations open and just not shielding them from the realities that, you know, electricity costs money, water costs money. They've seen us save for things. They've seen us pay off debt. Whether they completely understand it at all or not, I'm not sure because of their age, but I feel like even when they're little, that still somehow gets in their subconscious, and that is part of their subconscious memories of growing up. They also are so receptive and observant to the attitudes around money. You know, whether if they were to see you stressing over bills or fighting over money or things like that, whether they don't process that in the moment, that is somehow going to get into their subconscious. So I think back a lot to my childhood, my husband's childhood, the good and the bad things that we saw growing up, how our parents and grandparents handled money, and I try to put myself in my children's perspective of like, okay, if I was the child in this situation, what would I have wanted explained to me? What memories of my parents' financial journey do I still remember in my 30s? What stuck with me? What lessons did I carry with me, good and bad? What did I learn from that? And then kind of put myself in my child's perspective, and how can I do better? How can I recreate the good? How can I help them learn from the bad and help them learn the things that I learned firsthand, and all of that? And I think that really helps. And even if they're little, to remember that it will seep into their subconscious and get into their childhood memories. And so it is definitely worth having those conversations and being conscious of the language that you use in front of them, whether we say things like, oh, we're so broke, or, well, we've got to wait until payday. And they grow up hearing that we're broke, and they just think either that's normal or they have an embedded fear and an embedded type of negative connotation with money by always hearing we're broke, or watching their parents fight or listening to that, you know, that conversation. And it's little things like, well, we've got to wait until payday. We are instinctively building that norm in them that, well, we live we live paycheck to paycheck. And they just think either that's normal, or that's just, you know, that's just how it is, or we must be struggling, or things like that. So flip it to, even if you legitimately are living paycheck to paycheck, especially at the beginning of your journey, you can flip it into little changes into, let's wait until the next budget period starts. We have to wait until we go grocery shopping next week, you know, and show them that there is planning involved. There is, you know, we can't just buy everything we want to buy, whether we literally can't financially or we don't want to. That's not how we are choosing to spend our money. We're choosing to stick to our budget, and just being conscious of those little flips between we got to wait until payday or, well, it's not in the grocery budget right now. And I think those little subtle differences add up to be a huge difference over the course of a childhood, right? Also, speak out loud about what you're saving towards, what you're paying off debt about. So when we were saving for our RV, for example, it was, you know, almost $7,000, and it took us a good little bit to save for it. And so when our kids would ask for things and it wasn't in our budget because we wanted to save for this RV, we would just simply explain to them, we're not gonna spend this much money on treats because remember, we're saving for the camper. Remember, we're saving for the boat. Remember, we're saving for the land, or we're trying to pay off this debt right now so we can do this in the future. And just reminding them of that this is why we are doing what we're doing. Or, you know, this is why their parents are working extra. I related this to one of my one-on-one clients who her husband works a second job, a side hustle at night to help, you know, help them get where they want to go. And she's like, I just hate it for the kids, you know, and I said, remind them. Just the subtleties of saying, well, this is why daddy's tired. This is why daddy needs to sleep, you know, late because he worked last night because he was working the side hustle. And this is why he's working this side hustle. And even if it's something simple like, remember, we're saving for a house, or, you know, you don't have to go into like, you don't have to break out like an amortization chart for them or something, but make it age appropriate and simply relay it to them. Talk to them like they're people. They are going to understand at least some of it, and it's going to get into their subconscious, and they are learning, they are listening, and these subtle things can really have a huge effect on your kids. And little things about watching your language towards wealthy people too. A lot of people were raised to think that rich people were bad, rich people were greedy, they must have ripped somebody off or done something sketchy to get to where they go. And then you grow up with this in the back of your head that, well, rich people are bad, and why would you ever try to get your money together, build wealth, if that's going to make you a bad person, right? So that gets in there. And there's a lot of psychology that goes behind this. So just watch your language, be more conscious, talk it out, you know, try to explain to them the best you can, and then you can go into the whole, you know, spend, save, give, you know, working extra for chores, doing jobs when they get old enough to do them, whatever else you want to do. And I think that's different for each family, but the conversations, the language, the psychology has to be done first. It is most important in my opinion. And yeah, so I hope that was helpful to you guys. Keep the requests coming for the Sunny Squad FAQs, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye guys.